Now this is how you make a Marvel movie.
And we'll kill anyone who gets in our way.
No, not kill anyone.
Kill a few people.
Kill no people.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Now you're just making it sad.
What's up, guys? It's the Happy Critic. We're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This movie is actually really good. Is there a possibility that I'm just so starved for good films that a movie that just doesn't suck extremely bad seems like the best movie I've ever seen? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Peter and the Guardians set out on another adventure, this time to retrieve an override code in hopes of saving Rocket's life, after he's injured by a superpowered being named Adam. So this film doesn't even feel like a Marvel movie. That's what makes me kind of like it. It's not as predictable as a lot of Marvel movies have become. Definitely a little grittier, a little edgier, and it's not afraid to do some things that I feel like most Marvel movies would be afraid to do. A lot of Marvel movies lately just feel kind of flat and lifeless, like they lack any identity. Unlike this movie, Guardians knows exactly what it is, and it's very comfortable with itself. One thing that the Guardian movies have always just done extremely well are its characters. The characters are what makes this movie. With as many characters that are in this film, they actually balanced them amazingly well. This film understands its characters. It understands the complexities of what makes these characters likable and what makes these characters work. Everyone in this movie is fleshed out. In this particular film, we get to dive deeper into Rocket's past. I was worried for a little bit because I kind of thought we were maybe going to just focus on Rocket and we were just going to maybe ignore some of the other characters. But thankfully, they don't do that. The good thing about these characters is that they all have their strengths, but more importantly, they all have their own shortcomings, which all led to them being outcast at some point in their life, which pretty much led them to forming this unconventional family that they now have. And you just love watching them interact together. Rocket's past is heartbreaking. I absolutely love Mantis. She is a great addition to the group, and her chemistry with Drax is just cute. I also really loved seeing Nebula's muted humanity kind of shine through the cracks in her tortured shell. She truly cares for her new family. Sorry, it's raining. That's the ambiance. Some lazy exposition is about to happen.
As you know,
This Gamora in this movie is not the Gamora we've seen in the last two films, the last two Guardian films. And this Gamora hasn't gone through the adventures we've seen Gamora 1 have with Peter, Quill, and the Guardians. And I was kind of worried what they were going to do with that. I was worried that what they were going to do is they were pretty much just going to have this Gamora to eventually very easily get back together with Quill, and everything was just going to be like exactly how it was before Gamora died. But luckily, the film doesn't do that. And the fact that Gamora 1 died, it does have consequences. It's not just like, oh, I'm back, and now we can just be together like a big happy family. No, this is a different Gamora. She's in a different time in her life. She's edgier than the Gamora we know. And it's kind of complicated, and it's actually effectively really heartbreaking. You feel for Peter in this. You really do, because you can see where he's coming from. He's not trying to be a jerk. He's like, why aren't you in love with me? And she's like, I'm not the same Gamora. I'm not your Gamora. I just look like her. You can't just expect me to be in love with you just because in the future there was another version of me that was in love with you that went through different situations than I did. There was only like one little thing that did bother me, but he kept saying, I know you don't remember. And I was thinking, well, no, it's not that she doesn't remember. It's that it never happened to her. There's a big difference. She doesn't have amnesia. This Gamora's never actually gone through any of the things you're talking about. I mean, personally, if Chris Pratt came up to me and was like, hey, you know you're actually my girlfriend, I'd be fine with it. And speaking of Peter Quill, I was so happy that they actually did him right in this movie. And I think people forget that he isn't just some blockhead comic relief. You're reminded that Peter Quill actually is a very resourceful, intelligent, ingenious person. Star-Lord's actually pretty smart. Like, just real fast, what makes characters in this so good as well is They don't have to compromise the male characters to try to prop the female characters up. The female characters in here are likable on their own merit. Mantis, Nebula, Gamora, they're good female characters because they're written well. They're actually written as somebody that you could relate to, and they don't demean one character to make one character look better. Now, this movie is actually really funny. And out of just Marvel movies in general, I think the Guardian movies are the funniest films. And the reason why I think that they're so funny is because they know when to take itself seriously, and it knows when there's a serious or a sad scene, and they let that scene be. And when it is funny, the juxtaposition between those serious scenes and then like scenes where it's actually funny, it's more funny because you're like, you welcome that levity. I think the reason why Guardians is the most successful when it comes to inserting humor into its story is, for one of the reasons is humor I feel like it has in these movies is, it's kind of the when you're kind of the laughing through your pain kind of humor. And it's like, you know what, there's nothing else I can do right now. Like everything sucks. But you know what? Let's find something funny in it, you know, to get me through. And I feel like that's why this humor works. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like Marvel movies, especially now, when they're writing their scripts, they're like, okay, there needs to be at least like one joke every third page. Whether it works or not, it needs to be in there. But this film, it lets you have a serious moment, and it doesn't jeopardize it by throwing in some stupid joke. I also actually liked the bad guy in this film. Now, he's not like some epic like Thanos or something like that, but I think he works perfectly for this film. Because of the relationship that he had with Rocket, it makes him a more compelling bad guy. This movie also doesn't have any agenda, and it never tries to lecture you about anything. If I had to have like any gripes, it would probably be the ending, but I mean, that could change, I don't know. Overall, this is the best Marvel movie since Endgame. And yes, I think this is better than No Way Home. You can fight me. This movie's got a lot of heart, it's got action, it's fun, its characters are compelling, it's just trying to entertain you, and it does that. I highly recommend this movie. That's enough of me talking. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this movie was good? Am I giving it too much credit? Let me know down in the comments. Please like and please subscribe if you'd like to help support my channel. That's all I have for today. Keep watching movies, you guys, and keep being happy. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Push it down.
I am pushing down on it.
Push the button. It looks like you're pushing the keyhole.
The what?
There's a button under the handle. Press that in.
Okay. Now what?
Open the door.